Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show. On today's show, Candyman scares up the #1 spot at the weekend box office. John Cho is a 49-year-old man playing a 27-year-old in Netflix's Cowboy Bebop adaptation. It's called Acting. And Ben Affleck and Robert Rodriguez team up for some Hitchcock on the roids. Let's go.
And we are live.
Ahoy, Steve. What's going on today, sir?
Oh, not too much. I was actually working on the audiobook version of my book, Let's All Go to the Lobby, A Sweet History of Concessions at the Movies. And so that took up the majority of my morning. Obviously doing the show notes for the show and doing some other stuff that we have going on for the website. It's just, been a busy morning. How about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. I was playing around on other channels, got to see some fam, eat some food. Cool. It was really good. But before we even go on, before we even get to the housekeeping,
yes,
today's our 50.
Yeah, 50
shows.
50 shows. Yeah, 50 shows. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do this, but we're at least we got 50.
I love doing them, man. And so no matter how long this particular wagon ride goes on, this has been a blast, dude.
Yeah, it's been awesome, dude. I really enjoyed it. I love doing this stuff. It's just, I think by now, so this is we're well into our second month of doing these shows. And we were really hoping that, the response has been fairly good. Our growth has been steady. But we're not actually getting the live views that we were hoping for. The audience isn't growing as we were hoping for. Right. So, I mean, with that, we're going to have to do some reassessment, see, how viable the show is going forward. Man, if I could, I'd do these forever. Especially with you and I doing the show, I think is awesome. And I do them for as long as we absolutely could. But the fact is, these shows aren't free. They do cost money to produce. It costs time and labor. So it's and then there are some changes afoot. Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna need to change the time for the show. Scotty, do you want to make the announcement?
Well, as you know, I don't want to jinx anything, and time willing, and everything goes through the proper channels. This kid may be employed in a real way, not just
in the real world,
boot on the tubes that are you. Yeah, so that's gonna take a little bit of a scheduling modification. But
and if that happens, it'll probably be next week. And we'll keep you updated either, not only on the channel, but also on the community tab of our channel. We finally got that to switch over so we can communicate better with our audience there. Mm-hmm. But most likely, in any event, we'll make a move later in the day. So it'll be probably, I don't know, Scotty, what do you think? 4 or 5 o'clock Pacific?
Probably 4 or 5 Pacific. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so and we'll let you know. Because things are still fluid, as they say.
Yes. Yeah.
But so there might be a time change there. Kind of looking forward to that. Maybe that'll be better for us. I don't know. It seems like we got a good slot here. It's just a matter of the simple fact of getting it out to people, and that leads us into please do. Share, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff helps. And we really do need you to share the content with everybody and like and leave comments. All that stuff helps us move up into that algorithm and get more eyeballs on the show.
Bless them eyeballs.
Yeah, right. So please do that, and we do appreciate that. If you'd like to send a tip with your comment or question, please do so. www.streamelements.com/phantasmagoriumshow/tip. We also have a website. All of our shows, you can find a link to our audio-only podcast. which is cool. You can take us on the road with you. We'd love to be your traveling companion. Also on the website, you'll find a link to our shop. Pick up some merch. We have T-shirts. We got some new designs over the weekend. Really cool designs for you, for T-shirts, some mugs. Get yourself a hoodie. And we'll continue to update those as we can. You can do so at www.phantasmagoriumshow.com/shop. Awesome. So with that all out of the way, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Shall we get into the news?
Let us dive into the news.
So domestic box office totals are in for weekend 35, which is August 27th to 29th, 2021. And Candyman led the way. Candyman led the way with 370,000. That was on 3,569 screens. So not a huge weekend for the box office. I think it was around 59 million, just off the top of my head. It's, give or take. But nevertheless, Candyman did come in over their projections, which is a good thing. Candyman. In the number 2 slot, Free Guy holding strong, another 13 plus million. Number 3, Paw Patrol. That movie's chugging along, made another 6.6 million. Free Guy only took a 26% drop. Paw Patrol 49% drop. It's still good though. That Paw Patrol movie is doing really good. In the number 4 slot, you got Jungle Cruise hanging in there.
Yes,
that made $5 million. In the number 5 slot, Don't Breathe 2 took in 2.8 million. Number 6 slot, Respect, holding strong there in the top 10 with 2.1 million. The Suicide Squad hits number 7 with another $2 million. Wow. The Protege, which I heard is really good, by the way, and one of the movies I want to go see before it leaves theaters. I'll probably do that this week if I can sneak away. 1.6 million, number 8 spot. Number 9, The Night House, another movie that I'm interested in seeing, 1.2 million. And rounding out the top 10, Black Widow, another $855,000. And it's, I believe, 12th week? Or 8th week. 8th week. Yep, 8th week. Yeah, wow.
That's
your top 10.
Just chugging towards, I don't know. Do you think it's going to break the 200 mil?
I don't know. It's sitting right around 180, right? 181? Yeah, so $181 million. I don't know. It might. That's a kind of a long way to go. I think it's pretty petered out at 8 weeks, but yeah, it's doing good so far. The highest grossing movie of the year. So good for Black Widow. It's just over F9, Function K9, which is sitting at around the $160 million range.
Okay,
give or take $1 million or $2 million or $5 million. Yeah, so Black Widow, not surprising in Marvel movies, is number 1. I don't think it'll stay there. Depending on, we'll see how Shang-Chi does. I think Shang-Chi, it may not beat the opening weekend numbers, but I think it'll have better numbers overall for repeat watching. Because I think this movie, from all indications, is one of the movies that you're going to want to go see again and again with your buddies in the theater. So I think it'll have several repeat viewings, which may do the movie, some pretty solid numbers.
Well, and the anticipation for Shang-Chi is high. People are really looking forward to that. I'm still fingers crossed that No Time to Die sets the world ablaze with success and critical acclaim.
Right?
That's my dream.
I mean, look, there's actually a lot of people are looking forward to the No Time to Die. So I just don't know how many. Are we talking Skyfall mini or right. Or not? Or Spectre mini. I guess we'll have to see, right?
Yes,
that remains to be seen. And then obviously upcoming we have the Eternals, we have Dune,
yes,
Matrix 4. Now I know a lot of people don't, especially movie kind of people in our groups, in our crowds. Probably some of them may not be as excited for Matrix 4, but I think the general movie going audience might be. And it might surprise a lot of people just how many people want to see that movie. I just have to see how the marketing goes, because we haven't seen anything yet, right?
Very true, very true. And again, it's the same push and pull. Like the people in our groups and circles are incredibly jazzed and pumped for Dune.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that will translate to the general movie going audience. And it's
right, almost the opposite, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it very interesting how that dynamic works. But it just we'll have to. It remains to be seen.
Well,
I can't wait to see all these movies, by the way, because I want to see them all. I'm excited for all of those movies we just talked about.
Really looking forward to them being good.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully they're all good. Jungle Cruise sequel in the works at Disney, with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt returning to star.
With Disney's Jungle Cruise crossing the 100 million marker at the box office over the weekend, the Mouse House is moving forward with a sequel to the film, with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt on board to return. Sources also confirmed to Deadline that Yom Cole Sarah is also signed on to return as director, while Michael Green is back to write the script. Based on the popular theme park ride at Disney World and Disneyland, the film looked to have a tough hill to climb to reach that milestone after opening to 35 million at the domestic box office, which only 4 other films have crossed since the reset: Function Key 9, A Quiet Place Part 2, Black Widow, Godzilla vs. Kong being the others. Even with the Delta variant causing a rise in COVID-19 cases across the country, and the film being available on Disney Plus Premiere for audience to buy for home viewing, the film has shown legs in recent weeks, as its drop at the box office have not been as drastic as other films, allowing to cross that major milestone at the box office in these unprecedented times. Johnson did hint on social media after the opening weekend that a meeting to discuss a sequel was on his schedule. This follows the news that Disney had closed a deal with Emma Stone to return for a Cruella sequel, even though that film had brought in less than Jungle Cruise at the domestic box office, showing the studio sees potential for these properties going forward. Oh my. So I'm assuming that Emma Stone and Emily Blunt will not be following Spartacus down litigation road.
No, and which tells me, because they both announced right afterwards, they both announced that sequels to their movies are happening. We already got one for Cruella, we got one for this movie, and if you remember, Dwayne Johnson got his contract renegotiated. Disney decided to answer that call, but they didn't answer the call from their, from Scarlett Johansson, which, that's why she's going to win big money in their mediation. So I would assume that part of these deals were to get these sequels happening and all that other stuff. So I'm sure that's what happened there. The timing is very suspect, right?
Well, and that's why I'm interested in this, just in terms of the announcements and who's involved, and when all of this sort of House of Cards, House of Mouse fell a little bit, lost a little bit of luster. Yeah. Seeing solidarity in the actress community, I thought was good, but apparently the paychecks for sequels are better.
Yeah, and once it was announced that it was going to arbitration, I think everybody was free to make their announcements that, yay, we're, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
All right. Well, speaking of people who can walk and chew gum at the same time,
nice
the
segue.
Expendables is returning for Lionsgate with Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Megan Fox, and more.
Lionsgate and Millennium Media have a new Expendables movie in the works. Coming back together for the Elite Mercenaries feature are franchise stars John Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Sylvester Stallone, who will all reprise their roles as Lee Christmas, Gunnar Jensen, Toll Road, and Barty Ross, respectively. In addition, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Megan Fox, and Tony Jaa. Oh, Tony Jaa, dude, awesome. Are joining in this fourth quill.
Fourth quill.
What a weird. That's a weird name. That's not a real word. Lionsgate released this pick in the U.S., Canada, and U.K. Through 3 movies. The Expendables series has grossed $804 million at the global box office. It's a lot of money for these movies, man. Wow. The film will begin production this fall and is being directed by Scott Waugh. From a screenplay by Spencer Cohen with revisions by Max Adams and John Joseph Connolly. So we're getting another Expendables movie. Now I'm gonna come clean. I have not seen one Expendables movie. Not one of these movies looked interesting at all to me. But they seem to be fan favorites. So yay. It's interesting though. I do like Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa, obviously awesome. Like to see that he's coming into the franchise. Looks like they lost a couple of people though, right?
Well, and I know that Harrison Ford did replace Bruce Willis in the third Expendables because Bruce Willis doesn't work for less than $1 million a day, apparently.
Right.
And there has been a rotating cast in the Expendables. With my stars, what is his name? He was Whiplash in Iron Man 2. I should know this right off the top. I can see him. He's the wrestler.
Yeah. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke was in the first one. I don't think he returned. And I think Jet Li was in the first 2, but did not return for the third, or at least had a diminished role. I've always liked the older actors that they have sort of stepping in, as the original premise was the action stars in their sunset years sort of showcasing their talents. Now I don't know if they have any more of those sunset actors to tap. So we're getting Megan Fox and Tony Jaa.
All right. And 50 Cent.
And 50 Cent, pardon me. Yeah.
So good for them. Like I said, I don't watch these movies, so they're not for me, but they do have obviously $804 million at the box office over 3 movies is a good haul. So why not make more, right? If people want to watch them, make them, right? So good on them.
Yeah. If you are a fan of the Expendables.
It only says when it's going to production this fall. So I'd assume around this time, because I don't think these movies take too long to film. Their post-production is probably not too involved. I would say most of the stuff is post-production heavy. But still, that seems like plenty of time to get this movie out by the fall of next year.
Or at least a late August release. Yeah. And
it could be, yeah.
So that is interesting. And biggest thing with these, I'd like to see who the villain will be.
Interesting, yeah.
Because you did get Jean-Claude Van Damme and you did get Mel Gibson in a rare step from under the dark cloud that he lives. Cool. So there are potential. There is potential for the villains in these as well. So it'll be interesting. I know that my dad already has the DVD pre-ordered.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. The Matrix 4 star Yahya Abdul-Mateen II speaks about the film's fresh perspective.
With his role in Nia DaCosta's Candyman hitting theaters, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II has been doing the press rounds, and that inevitably has led some to talk about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Matrix Resurrections, both long-awaited follow-ups to huge movies in which Mateen has reportedly key roles. Little solid information is known about either of the 2 movies, but Mateen, who also played Dr. Manhattan in HBO's reinvention of the Watchmen mythology, is deftly managing the series of questions that come out about each. Right now, to pretending he has cell phone problems when asked about his role in The Matrix Resurrections during a recent interview. The actor is acutely aware of being suddenly thrust into a world of franchise filmmaking, which, regardless of budget, comes with expectations on the part of the audience. They both are classics that people love. Mateen told Variety of his roles in Candyman and The Matrix. They come with high expectations of excellence, and audiences cannot wait to see them. And it's nice to be a part of that. Of course, they also come with the opportunity to add your own spin to moments and characters. And we're looking forward to doing that with The Matrix in the same way that we did with Candyman. It's all an opportunity to tell fresh stories and to change the narrative and add a new perspective on it.
Yeah, cool. So
Well,
tight-lipped, but
yes.
that's a very politically correct, not in the politically correct term in politics, but politically safe way to answer questions without giving away too much and getting your hand slapped.
Well, exactly. You don't want to Tom Holland all over the place,
Right?
or Ruffalo it.
Or Ruffalo it. Yeah, cool. This is good news. I like this actor. I liked him, from the first time I saw him. I really liked that Watchers, the Watchmen show on HBO. So, and he was great in that role. So
yes, I did like him as Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, so it's good. He's he's got a great movie. Well, I don't know if it's great or not. I haven't seen it, but a movie that's doing very well in the theater this weekend. Candyman reboot. So yeah, that, and it also makes Nia DaCosta, I think, is they're touting her as the first Black woman to have a #1 film at the box office opening weekend.
I did read that, and congratulations to her.
So good for her. I mean, I'm usually not one of the everybody using the first. This is the first this and the first that and the first this. We become a thing of first, even if it's not even true. We use it. I do believe this is true. It sounds right to me, but
well, and
congratulations.
I agree with you. I don't like sort of the manufactured first time past the post kind of thing. But this is an actual milestone. This is a glass ceiling that has been broken, and Nia DaCosta is the woman who did it. And so, for sure, you do have to give the credit where the credit is due.
Yep. And even though I haven't seen the movie, and I don't plan to see this in theaters. But I might. But I do want to see the movie.
Yes.
I just might wait till it comes to VOD.
Yes. And I think I'm in the same boat. Sort of a warm remembrance of the original, but nothing to get me to Roadrunner Cloud out of the room to go and check this one out.
Yeah, I'm such a fan of the original that I don't know about this sequel, but they surprise you like Fright Night. Fright Night surprised me how good the sequel was. So I will give it a shot for sure.
Moving on to a Collider exclusive. Robert Rodriguez says his Ben Affleck movie, Hypnotic, is like a Hitchcock thriller on steroids.
Wow. Bold words, right? Alice Braga co-stars in the original Thriller, which Rodriguez reveals starts filming in 6 weeks. Rodriguez's next film is an original thriller called Hypnotic, which will star Ben Affleck, Alice Braga, and follows a detective who becomes embroiled in a mystery involving a missing daughter and a secret government program. Ooh, spooky. This is an original film written by Rodriguez and Max Borenstein, Godzilla vs. Kong. And when Collider's own Steve Weintraub spoke with Rodriguez recently about Happier Than Ever, he asked about the status of Hypnotic. The Alita Battle Angel filmmaker revealed that while the film was being delayed due to pandemic, they're planning on starting production in 6 weeks. He says, quote, it was supposed to shoot last April and COVID pushed it like 6 months. Then it pushed again because COVID came back strong. Now we're fingers crossed shooting in 6 weeks. We're hard prepping so I could be shooting that in the next 6 weeks. Cool. While Rodriguez declined to get into plot specifics, he offered a tantalizing tease at what kind of movie Hypnotic is, and said he's been dreaming up the project for the last 2 decades. Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's like a Hitchcock thriller on steroids. That's all I can say. As soon as you see the first trailer, you'll go, I got it. I'm there. It's that kind of movie. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, very exciting. It's a not everything you see is real type movie that, and it's got a great cast. It'll be very energetic. It's one of my favorite stories. I started writing it back in 2002.
Wow.
So it's one of the ones I've had the longest and I've been waiting to do. I'm very excited that we're finally making it. So yeah, good.
I am a big fan of Ben Affleck. I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez, and seeing them sort of paired together. Alice Braga as well is Foxy,
Yeah.
and I enjoy her screen presence. And so this does sound interesting, especially if you have a detective and a shady government organization. It does sound sort of from the shadows, Hitchcockian thriller vibe. And if it's on the roids, then I will be looking forward to this. And I don't think, as long as I don't pay attention to the Spy Kids franchise, then Robert Rodriguez really hasn't let me down that often.
No, and I actually I really liked Alita Battle Angel. I know not everybody did, but I did. I really did. I thought it was a great movie. Yeah, I like most of his stuff. You know, the Spy Kids stuff aside. I thought that was great. Obviously, you know, all the stuff he's done with Tarantino is great. So, yeah, good. And Hypnotic sounds great. It's a great name for a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypnotic is a perfect name. It sounds like it's a fresh take on the Hitchcockian style. So we'll see how that goes. I wish. So 6 weeks, we'll probably see that at the end of next year too, if not probably more towards the beginning of 2023.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that one sort of the production time on that one turns around quicker than most, just because Robert Rodriguez's Troublemaker Studios.
Yeah, and he can turn out a movie pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that.
Yeah, he's sort of built his own empire to be able to do things at his own pace, and it seems like the current state of the world is the only thing that is stopping him, and that's health and safety permits and whatnot. But when he starts making a movie, it does turn around double plus quick. I noticed that when it seemed like Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, it was announced, and then the following weekend it was out.
Sounded like it right now.
It was just incredible turnaround.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I would watch this movie next weekend if it was coming out in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So I am there for it. I haven't even seen anything from it, but just from this little article right here, I'm totally down for it.
Definitely. And
anyways, next up on the docket, the series gets season 3 premiere date on Netflix. Not you, Scotty.
Oh, that's why I got excited.
You don't get a premiere date.
Not yet. You know, I'm waiting for the application to go through. Anyway, Netflix has set October 15th for the season 3 premiere of its hit drama series, You. Starring Penn Badgley and Victoria Pedretti. You is developed by Sarah Gamble and Greg Berlanti, based on Caroline Kepnes's best-selling books, You and Hidden Bodies. You's second season ranked number 5 on Netflix's top 10 list of its most popular series in 2019, just days after its release. In season 3, Joe, played by Badgley, and Love, played by Pedretti, now married and raising their baby, have moved into the balmy Northern California enclave of Madre Linda, where they're surrounded by privileged tech entrepreneurs, judgmental mommy bloggers, and Insta-famous biohackers. Joe is committed to his new role as a husband and a dad, but fears Love's lethal impulsiveness. And then there's his heart. Could the woman he's been searching for all this time live right next door? Breaking out of a cage in a basement is one thing, but the prison of picture-perfect marriage to a woman who's wise to your tricks? Well, that'll prove a much more complicated escape. The cast also includes Saffron Burrows, Tati Gabrielle, Dylan Arnold, Shalita Grant, Travis Van Winkle, Scott Speedman, Michaela McManus, Shannon Chan Kent, Ben Mennel, Chris O'Shea, and Christopher Sean. Have you seen You?
I have. I actually, it's actually the reason I picked it is because
Yes.
it's a show that I watch and like. It's good. It's. I don't want to, I don't want to give too much away because it's cool to discover this on your own. But definitely see you. It's one of the better Netflix series.
Can you give sort of a non-spoilery premise for you?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I think you got it. You got it right from there.
Okay.
You got it from there. It's hard because if I do, it's just going to spoil it.
Fair enough.
For people who haven't seen it. And it gets, you don't have to wait long. It gets right into it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, by 3 episodes into the very first season, you know exactly what's going on. It's pretty dope.
Does it follow the 3-episode rule?
It does.
Oh, good. Well, that's awesome, dude.
I was hooked to episode 1. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was just on a whim. I'm like, what is this? I heard about it. Somebody talked to Can't Be a Show or some show. I was internet show I was watching, and I saw it in my list or in the suggested Netflix deal, and I clicked on it and I was in. I was in. So I'm like, okay, this is cool.
October 15th, from third season of You.
That's right.
Chinese actress Zhao Wei denies fleeing to France in now deleted Instagram post.
This is interesting. Authorities in Beijing recently blacklisted the billionaire star from social media and ordered that all her work be pulled from streaming sites in the country for as yet unexplained reasons. Wow. Well, maybe being a billionaire in a communist country. There's one. The mystery surrounding billionaire actress Zhao Wei and her whereabouts intensified over the weekend after unsubstantiated reports spread that she had fled China for France after she was blacklisted by Beijing authorities. On Saturday, reports emerged on Chinese news sites that Zhao had fled the country on a private jet and was spotted at Bordeaux airport in France. Zhao and her husband, Hung Yulong, are the owners of Chateau Monlot or Monlot. I don't know. Monlot.
Makes sense.
A vineyard located just outside of Bordeaux, obviously Bordeaux, France. Seeking to dispel the rumors and being banned from Chinese social media sites such as Weibo, Zhao posted 3 pictures on her Instagram account Sunday. Despite the platform being blocked in China, reports say Zhao claimed on Instagram that she was staying with her parents in Beijing, and in reply to a commenter, she denied she was in France. The Instagram post was later deleted. Last Thursday, upon orders from the government, all entries related to Zhao on Chinese social media platforms such as Weibo or Weibo I'm not familiar, sorry, were removed. Her name was scrubbed from the credits of films and TV shows, and all content featuring her, including film, TV, chat show appearances, and more, was removed from major streaming sites like Tencent Video and IQIYE?
Icky.
Icky? I don't know. It's so weird. All discussion of Zhao on social media is also censored. No official explanation for the blacklisting was given, but the Chinese government is in the midst of a crackdown on the entertainment industry and the excesses of celebrity fan culture. Zhao, who is known as Vicky or Vicky Zhao, and notably starred in My Fair Princess, Shaolin Soccer, and Lost in Hong Kong, is a popular star turned billionaire investor and is the face of Italian fashion house Fendi in China. So this is very interesting, and it should serve as a warning, maybe not a warning, but shine some light and inform younger people that don't know history and don't understand. There's a reason they call it Red China, and the reason is a communist country. I know the youth around the United States and in North America running around with their Che Guevara shirts and screaming socialism's cool and communism's great and all this shit. They just have no idea historically what they're talking about. But this is a reminder that this is what you get from that. These are authoritarian regimes that will clamp you down, blacklist you, and take your money, take your property, And in China, you could end up in a concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not hyperbole. That's actually happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
all the time, all over China. So I thought this was very interesting. Now, it looks like she got out, which luckily for her, if this report is to be believed, and if this is true, she'll be safe in France. It sounded like they have a winery there, which most likely has there's a house there, and hopefully most of her money is tucked away where she can get it and get at it and get after it. So interesting. What do you think?
I find this whole thing terrifying because usually, again, I grew up in the Western world, and I always thought that the superpower to be able to avoid things like unpersoning and being completely deleted from the history of your nation was money.
Right.
And now, if you're a billionaire in China, which does confuse me a little bit,
Yeah.
they absolutely just social media credits from films, TV shows, chat shows, and this is in response to celebrity fan culture, because then I suppose it is elevating those celebrities above the state.
Yes. Yep.
And
you can't have that.
No, that would be a threat to authoritarian rule, and that I understand that. But when something like, it's weird because I was just looking over an old TV show that I really enjoyed called Wilfred that was on for 4 seasons, and it had Allison Mack in it, and I kind of fell into an Allison Mack rabbit hole, seeing, I wonder what else she was in before the whole Nexium thing exploded in her face, and saw about her sentencing and stuff, and a lot of voice credits redacted or removed. But that's in response to her being, a sex trafficking criminal, which I understand. But in this case, it is just for Zhao to be blacklisted by the Chinese government based on her popularity alone is terrifying in that authoritarian world.
Yeah.
And it is
and I'll tell you what, if you look around North America, coming to a North American city or town near you, right? Because this is happening all over the place. Not as extreme, obviously, as this, but deplatforming is happening for having the other. There's this great to kind of illustrate the point. There's the season finale of Electric Dreams, the Philip K. Dick short story series on Amazon, which is awesome, by the way. But the last episode is about the other, right? And supporting these politicians, and one politician, basically on TV said, something about, the others should be killed, and nobody batted an eye.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just became the norm, right? And then one guy was like, wait a minute, I don't understand, And then everybody's gathering around him. I voted for this person, and I don't understand. This isn't. Is this right? We're hanging people, and because they have a different opinion, and again they're considered the other, and so everybody's like, wait, what are you talking about, dude? Are you an other?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously they came for him. It's a brilliant illustration of what's going on, not only in China. China is been doing this kind of thing for a long time. But it shines a light on what's going on here. You have these big media oligarchs. We have that are in collusion with the state. The government is out of control. The censorship here is incredibly vile. And we got to wake up. It's interesting you brought up the scrubbing of Allison Mack. I don't agree with that. Look, if somebody does something, they should be punished for it. But erasing history doesn't fix it. It doesn't magically sprinkle fix-it dust on it.
Well, and
so I don't agree with erasing history either. History is just that. It's history. You learn from it and you move on.
Well, and even with
hopefully you learn from it.
Hopefully you learn. Hopefully you learn and are not doomed to repeat it. But hey, I still watch the Naked Gun movies, and Nordberg is still played by O.J. Simpson, and I disagree with the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons being removed from Disney Plus, or the episode of, to a lesser extent, because I know that it could be sort of an emotional trigger for some, is the New York City World Trade Center episode of The Simpsons. These kinds of things, and this is why I sort of advocate for physical media, is because these alterations and redactions from our own history can't happen if I actually have the physical disc itself, or book,
Right.
or piece of art. It
Right.
kind of it is reminiscent of V for Vendetta. And one of the things it also sort of triggers in the back of my mind is when Charlie Brooker was asked about making more Black Mirror, he's like, there's no reason to. Look out your window.
Right.
Watch the news.
Right.
There's your Black Mirror.
Right. The truth is stranger than fiction right now.
Right
You can't
now.
write it better. Yeah. All right. We'll move on to our next one. We probably spent too much time on that, but it's an important topic that we should be talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
John Cho addresses Cowboy Bebop fans who think he's too old. Age was my biggest fear, he says.
Cho turned 49 years old this summer, and his Cowboy Bebop character is 27 years old in the anime. Netflix's live-action adaptation of the iconic anime Cowboy Bebop arrives this November with John Cho in the lead role as of Spike Spiegel. And the actor knew from the start that his casting would be somewhat controversial. Spike is a 27-year-old bounty hunter in the Cowboy Bebop anime. Cho turned 49 years old this summer. The actor was asked by Vulture about the Cowboy Bebop fans upset that the series did not cast a younger actor in the role, to which Cho admitted, the biggest fear that I had was I was too old. I knew people were going to have issues with my age, and I had to get over it. I'm not a person who says age is just a number or whatever. It was going to be harder physically, and I was going to look different than a 25-year-old guy, Cho continued. At some point, the opportunity is yes or no. Do you want to do it? And I did want to do it, so I wasn't going to stop myself from doing it. For anyone who believes Cho is too old to lead Cowboy Bebop, the actor maintained the series benefits from him being an older actor. First of all, I couldn't have done it when I was 27, Cho said. I mean, maybe I would have been better suited aesthetically or athletically, but in terms of my discipline, I am strangely better suited at this age. I don't think I would have done justice to the emotional depth we tried to give Spike. There's always a trade-off. What young men are typically best at as actors is rage, and that might have been more pronounced element of the character. What I'm better at, being older, is showing weakness and vulnerability and love. Those things are more accessible to me. Personally, I'd prefer the version I'm able to show. That's my taste. Yeah. And I agree. I agree too. The emotional depth required to play Spike Spiegel, I think, would take an older actor. And one of my sort of hesitancies to modern action is I don't like seeing dudes that are younger than me. I've always aspired to an adult male being the action star or leading man, and maybe that's why I'm still drawn to the action stars or the budding stars of the 1990s as they get older. Now I want to see them start doing stuff. Not Liam Neeson old, but Ben Affleck old.
Sure. This surprised me because I was when we were looking at the pictures and stuff. He looks great in the role. I'm surprised that fans reacted in this manner. I'm not really surprised. You know, I mean, take a look at Twitter or YouTube and see how fans act. But I'm saying it surprised me that it bubbled up to that level actually, just because he looked great in the role. I don't see his 49 as being too old to play that character. I don't know that his age in the episodes of Cowboy Bebop that I've seen actually make that big a difference in the character. So I was a little shocked at this response, but to tell you the truth, but I like his answer. His answer's solid. It's like, look, you know, I think you're going to get a better Spike out of this, other than a young, fresh-faced actor that's only going to be able to do the athletic parts and maybe not tap into that vulnerability and some of the more nuanced, Not saying that nobody could do it. I'm just saying you're not. It'd be a lot harder to cast and find that, and you wouldn't actually know until deep into the filming, right?
Well,
That's not something you're going to be able to pull out of in a screen test or a casting call. So it's look. I think the casting's inspired. I think his response was great.
yeah, it is going to be something that when people hold a property in such high regard, and
Yeah,
it's not the way that I wanted it.
always right. Yeah,
Exactly. Like, but and this has been an age old thing. The earliest one that I can remember is, and they're oddly the two that pop to mind immediately are Batman related. Michael Keaton playing Batman. There was uproar. Thank heavens the internet didn't exist at the time. And with Joker, Heath Ledger.
yeah,
Him playing that role, people were like, "He's not. He can't. 10 things I hate
that's
about
right.
you, guy. Whatever."
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that this
Well,
is.
a Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People
Yeah,
were
people
frustrated with that.
were furious at that casting. He's way too tall.
Hmm.
It's a song and dance man. It's never going to work out. And now we can't think of Wolverine being anybody else. Right?
Exactly. And it is surrounding like this past weekend with, and I have her name, Daniela Pineda,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
receiving a lot of flack because, well, attracting
Well,
it herself. It seems
yes.
like I didn't even know, and this is why it's sort of interesting on how actors relate to the fans. I like this response from John Cho better than Daniela's response to
Yeah,
being.
her response was not well
It
thought out.
wasn't. It wasn't well received. My defense of her, not that she needs me to say anything. Faye Valentine's not a nice person, and if the actor who's playing her isn't really all of that concerned about your
Right?
feelings either, neither am
Yeah.
I. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm going to watch the show and take it for what it is. I don't.
Look, at the end of the day, these
Mm,
are jobs. And
mm,
fans need to realize that. These are actors that are offered a job and they're not going to say no, oh no, I'm not right for this part. Bullshit. Of course they're going to take the job. You take the job. It's a job.
yes.
It's just a job. Does it help when these actors are fans of the properties they're in? Sure it does. I'm sure it helps. But does that mean that she's going to suck? No.
Well,
No.
and it
Or
is.
he.
Or he, and with the actors, you don't necessarily have to be the biggest fan of the
Nope.
property that you're stepping into. You should become well versed in the character that you're
Absolutely.
trying to, and that is your homework and part of the job. I get more concerned when it's writers
Me
who
too.
are.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and I basically
Yeah.
I took a weekend to watch what I wanted to and then abandoned the rest so I could make my own thing. There is a
Sure.
responsibility there to move forward. And especially with something like Cowboy Bebop, where there is reluctance to no one wants this to be bad. But right now it seems like when anything is announced or they showcase anything, there are a group of people, as with anything, who are just going to say, well, this sucks. Let me tell you
Yep.
why, before they've seen frame one.
Right.
So
It's just it's an automatic knee jerk response nowadays that for anything and I mean you can announce anything and
mhm.
there's a group of people out there that's it sucks, it's gonna be horrible, and
Mhm. Like
and
I can't.
they'll pick whatever they can, they'll find some little thing and pick it apart
Well,
without having seen it, heard about it, and they don't know anything about it.
like,
But
can
that's
you
just
imagine?
the way fandom is now. I
Can
think
you?
it's always kind of been that way though.
Well,
To
can
be
you
fair.
imagine what happened? Like when Shatner did the Saturday Night Live skit with the Get a Life at the Star Trek convention. If that were to happen today, he would be run out of
Oh
town
yeah.
on a railroad tie.
Yep.
Like it would be, how dare you? You can't come back. There's no way. Even though it was a joke, it was facetious, and that was the moment where I separated the art from the artist as a
Yeah.
young man, and I was like, okay, well, if Shatner's making fun of me, then I'll still have Captain Kirk. I don't have to listen to Shatner.
That's
Luckily,
right.
I relaxed a little bit in my old age and said, nah, Shatner can do what he wants. But
Yeah.
if you have a flippant, sarcastic actor responding to what could be considered criticism from an audience that hasn't seen the product that you worked for, then I can, if you want to drop a little snark, please feel free.
Drop a little snark.
Go for it.
All right. Let's see what we have. let me share the screen. It goes over to the super chats.
Yeah.
And tip and stuff. See where we're at. There we go.
Here we are. Heavens.
Oh, Power. Okay. The Power Dragon has subscribed. Cool. Thank
you, Power Dragon.
Awesome. Okay.
And thank you to all of our subscribers. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. No super chats or super stickers today, so we'll go check out the chat.
Let's see
the live
what's
chat
going on. Oh, Turgay is here. Ahoy, Turgay. Hails upon thee, Phantasmos. Thank you, and hail to you. Simone, bonjour, les gars. I don't always get to listen it live, and I'm kicking off my vacation with you. Well, thank you for being here live, Simone. Happy golden anniversary. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And I think that you had a birthday recently, so happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Turgay says, Simone, welcome to the chat and the show. And Simone says, thank you to Turgay. Happy to be here with the wave. It's really good. I'm glad you're here. Eyeballs on sight. Fantastic. Turgay says, back in the chat, internet problems. Oh, heavens.
Oh, boy.
Turgay says, check out the merch store for loads of new designs.
Yeah, got a bunch of new stuff in there this weekend.
Link is in the chat, and I really like the. I like that you did the "We Are Live" with the finger. I'm glad that you got that one.
I got the one that you suggested. That's a Scotty suggestion that we do the finger pointing forward, and then I got one with the with Thanos gauntlet.
Oh, nice!
Too, that says "We Are Alive" is pointing up with the gauntlet, so it's pretty cool.
Beautiful. Turgay says, Candyman is one of the scariest movies I saw growing up. I'm hesitant about the remake, but yes, I will watch it.
I'll watch it too. I just don't know if it's going to be in theater, probably at home.
Turgay says the Terminator also
Terminator.
The Terminator also has love for Alita. Got your back, Steve. I do.
Yeah.
I think we're all fans of Alita around these.
I saw it in the theater, man. I thought it was great.
Simone says, I was a big old scaredy cat when I was a kid, so I didn't watch a lot of horror movies. I've toughened up a bit in my age.
That'll do it.
Turgay says to Simone, I wish I still got scared by scary movies. I've grinded my fear down to nothing. It takes a lot these days, but Hereditary made me feel unease.
I love that movie. Such a good movie.
Simone says to Turgay, I don't have to hide under the blankets anymore, but I still can't handle home invasion horror.
Ooh, yeah. That one,
Turgay says to Simone, I totally get you. Home invasions are real. The Candyman ain't. Yes. And as we were mentioning, it's
true that, she says.
It is tough looking out your own window and saying, you know what, I'd like to watch something that scares me, when all you'd really got to do, turn on the news. Simone says, Steve, I really liked you too. It will be interesting to see where things go.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to season 3. Interesting, and married with a baby, so we'll see how that turns out.
You, as in the TV show, you're okay too, though.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. At least I'm in there somewhere in the hierarchy.
Turgay says censoring the past is utter oxen poop. It's wrong, so wrong. Yes,
it is. It's pretty bad.
And Turgay says, tip and comment here. It helps us or helps us to fight evil. Simone says, we stand John Cho at the Fantasmagorium.
Yes,
we do. Turgay says, regarding fandom, I'm going to start standing outside universities and about at people trying to become, say, a surgeon, that they are wrong for the job years before they start it. Fair, right. Isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Shout. He says shout at people. Yeah.
Shout at people. Yeah, no, you're not tall enough to be a surgeon. How dare you?
Sorry. How dare you try to get a degree in underwater basket weaving?
Yes. I was anticipating a brunette.
Right? Okay. And that'll do it for the chat today, dude. I think we'll keep the show short. It's a nice condensed little version. It's not that condensed. We're almost at an hour.
Yeah.
55 minutes. But it was we had some cool news today. And it was a fun show.
I always like when our movie news intersects with the geopolitical.
Yeah, right.
Gives us a little something.
Very interesting, case there. once I heard that they were scrubbing out all of her titles and appearances and credits, I'm like, wow, that's and they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you can say no.
Well, exactly. There is no recourse. There are no elections, or at least none that matter.
None that matter. None that are real, anyway.
Yeah. So,
when the state says, "Hey, you have to scrub all this stuff out," you have to scrub it all out.
Mm-hmm. And
very interesting. I hope that she's safely in France and can figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like if she is in China, she may be in big trouble. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll keep an eye, and hopefully she will reemerge in safer environs. But
we will emerge in a safer environment tomorrow. We're back. We're back here Monday through Friday, at least for this week at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. We may make a move, like we said up top. We may make a move next week. We'll let you know in plenty of time, so we can adjust your schedules accordingly.
Please.
We are back tonight for Set to Stun,
yeah.
our Star Trek podcast. That will be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
what's the topic today, Scotty?
We'll always have Tom Paris.
Have Tom Paris.
Episode 3 of Lower Decks Season 2, and Chandra and I are going to be going over our either love them to hate them, or favorites, or antagonists.
Yes.
Villains and antagonists. We're going to be going through probably all the ones that we can list and get them in some sort of order that may arbitrarily change at a moment's notice.
Awesome. Yeah, I tune in tonight because I'll debut a new shirt that I got specifically for the show. It came in Saturday. So
sweet.
Yay. I also got one for the Bond show, which is coming up on Wednesday, which is Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns. That'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Got a new Hawaiian shirt for that one.
Excellent.
So that will be pretty dope.
Our resident Wade. Moldy Han. Sorry I'm late. Happy to have you here at all.
Great username.
Great.
By the way.
Then also Turgay on Thursday.
Yep. Turgay on Thursday.
Boom. Thursday.
Cult Classic Movie Corner returns Thursday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And this week we are discussing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's Turgay first time viewing the film this week. So I'll be interested to kind of pick his brain on and see what his take is on that cult classic movie decades later. So it should, after its release anyways. Very interesting. Should be a fun show.
I envy the people who watch great movies like that for the first time, because I'll never have that back. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what Turgay says about that as well. Hey, Todd Michaels here. So what did I miss? Busy analyzing data. So were we. We were talking. Yeah, we had stuff going on. Please feel free to check us out in the replay, Todd Michael. I'm sure that there's something for everyone in it.
News, and some more news. Yeah, and some geopolitical intersection news that intersected with our entertainment, which is very interesting. Yeah, fun show. Love doing the shows with you, Scotty. Hopefully we can do more and more and more. But like I said up top, it's getting hard. This is our 50th episode. We were hoping to be a little further along, not only financially, but with the with the audience, growing the audience. But I guess I don't know. Well, we'll have to do some assessments and see how long we can keep going with these shows. It looks like because we don't hate on shit. We don't make it a point in our titles and our thumbnails to pick apart nonsensical made up things about movies and TV shows. We like to celebrate things we love here, and maybe that's just doesn't attract the enough of an audience to make it viable. I don't know. But we said in the beginning that we were new to this, and it was kind of an experiment. There's not too many channels that do it like we do. So, and maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But 50 shows in the bank there.
I did not think that I would have 50 shows on the internet. And even if, I appreciate everybody who's been watching, everyone who has joined us on this ride. Thank you so much. And we really, like I said before, and I'll say it again, we have these conversations anyway. We're happy to have you here. We wish more people could join in. We'll see how things go moving forward. Again, there's going to be a little bit of a scheduling change, but even when the Fantasmagorium goes away, I would say that it's not going to be completely gone. It just may take a nap for a bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like you said, we have these conversations anyways. The reason why we started the show was because we were having these conversations, and we were like, we might as well be doing this live on the internet, live on YouTube or wherever. And I love doing the show with Scott. I think our chemistry is good. I think the shows are good. And it's just, getting it in front of more people is proving to be harder than we expected it. We didn't expect overnight to be, the next Joe Rogan or anything like that. But we did expect, some growth, some better growth. And it's just not able to hit that yet.
And you're absolutely correct in terms of the amount of, like, you put in a lot of effort into this show. I think I put in not as much as you do. You are carrying the lion's share, sir, but this is a daily show. And so that's why I say it may not go away completely. It may just get pared back. We don't know what it looks like right now. Yeah. But it is a routine, a schedule, and it is something that we're committed to doing. And if we're changing it, we don't want you to just sort of show up one day and be like, "What happened? Where'd they go? They just packed and left in the middle of the night."
Right. Yeah. So we won't do that, but we do need to kind of make an assessment. We wanted to give this a good 60 days. We passed that with this is our 50th episode, but we've been doing the show for a little over 2 months now, and we wanted to give an assessment. Like I said, we've gotten further than we thought, but not as far as we'd hoped. Right. So there's, we're just going to have to take a look at the numbers and see what works, what doesn't work. I do want to keep doing the weekly shows for sure. If we're able to do those. The problem is just kind of across the network. We're just not getting the views, and we're not getting the outreach is just, we're not breaking through enough to kind of make it worth, the effort, because it's effort. I mean, it takes a lot of work to, put together show notes, finding the articles, doing the thumbnails, making sure everything runs, having the website tie-ins and all of that stuff. It's just, it's we do produce a show. We don't just hit the button and go live and make it up as we go. But we definitely, we're having fun, which is the reason. It's almost reason enough to just keep doing it regardless. But it may take a different time. It may take a different form. We just don't know yet.
But as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
We will. We definitely will. And so nothing's going to change here for this week. If there is a change, it'll be next week, and it'll probably just bump the show. It'll still be Monday through Friday. I think it'll just go a little later, probably a 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific. So look for us there. We'll tell you in plenty of time. We won't make any decision without letting you know. Thursday or Friday, exactly what we're going to do. Anyways, absolutely. And with that kind of said and out of the way, Scotty, I think that will do it for us today. I think we'll leave everybody with the trailer to my book. What do you think?
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Awesome. Okay, here it is. Have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.